So you'll see here I'm logged on to a browser. When I refresh my screen, every user can have a different dashboard. So in this case, this is a financial controller dashboard. So when you log in, these are maybe things that you need to see, whereas other people that deal with inventory might want to see a different dashboard. So we can create multiple different dashboards. They're really easy to customize as well. Want to be able to see which lot numbers will be expiring soon or has already expired, so you can run specials on those, and maybe just quick views and actions instead of running reports and drilling it. So we obviously have all those reports. This here is just to show you some of the other options, and I'll also show you some Power BI tools that we can embed within the product. So in this specific dashboard, you'll see here that right at the top, we're just looking at some KPI counters. They tell us that there's sales orders that's yet to be shipped and that there's purchase orders that we haven't received from our suppliers yet. Now, we've got options. We can either go into this, and if I click on this, it will open up another tab, and it will actually give me the underlying information. So that's one way to get there. The other way is just to look on the right-hand side here. We've embedded the same data just in another grid form, and so that you can actually see that without having to drill in or even run a report. So this here can either refresh every now and again, we can schedule those, or you could manually just refresh it and it will update that report. Same with any of the other dashboards. Also here I've got some slow moving items by warehouse example that says how many items have I got in a warehouse that's not moving or that is slow moving. And we've got different ways to create those reports, and the parameters we built into it, and that will be very custom to whatever you need to see. But this is just to show you some examples, and then here I've got the grid again. So that is just a quick view of some KPI dashboards. Obviously these can be line graphs, they could be bar graphs, whatever it is that you actually want to do. But I want to show you as just what's underneath some of these reports. It's something called generic inquiries, and we can create a view for each of those. So if I click here and saying I want to see the lot expiration, if I look at all records, this is a very quick filter type report. We call these generic inquiries, and I can group any of these reports by a heading. I can filter it, and I could save these things back in as like a pivot table as well. So in this case, you can just see there, these are the batches I've currently got for olive oil. These are different warehouses, and that's the same kind of data that we looked at on the front screen. But I can actually go in here and create my own little filters as well. It says, show me everything that's expiring in 1 month, show me everything expiring in the next 2 months, show me things that's already expired. How do I do that? So very, very simple. From here, you can actually just go, you can change a few things. And once you've changed that, I can save it as another report. And every time I save that as another report, it can actually sit at the top, and I could potentially even share that with another colleague. So that's just quickly around lot expiration inquiries and how that works. Obviously, we've got a full batch report that you can run in the system as well. These are just some quick inquiries. Right at the top here, I've got a bunch of filters. So I can actually put in various different information, and depending on what I put in, the report will just change. So I don't have to go and run a report. I can just go and change this on the fly and just see how data compares to each other, right? So very, very quick to do, as you can see there. And this then shows you all records. It's currently filtered by just that product class and a specific customer class. If I take that out, the report just refreshes, and now I've got a lot more data. Once again, you can see here we've created a few filters, and this just shows me 2020 sales. So what you'll see though, what I've done here is I've created this as a pivot table. It's another of these little functions. You can even embed this as a dashboard. This pivot table is based on that same inquiry, all these data you saw here right at the front, just presented in a different way, and for you to be able to slice and dice things around a little bit. So if you look at this here, I can actually go and change the pivot table, what I want to see, columns, how that should look. And maybe, if you're happy with what you've got here, you'll see that I can actually group it. That just gives that to me. I can see what's the net sale amount and what's the margins that we've been selling it. And I can have this by date, I can have it by customer, and we can create even different reports for those. So as an example, just in general, if we wanted to have a look at the things that we are selling with the least amount of margin, we could obviously sort that and just have a look at that, or have a look at the top selling items, right, and the lowest selling items. So very, very quick and easy to do. Another report here that you'll see is just our slow moving sales nurses, and there's a bunch of them. I also want to show you, we've got the ability to embed Power BI. It's another way to do reporting. Power BI is not part of MYOB. It's obviously part of Microsoft, and we don't actually sell that, but you know, it's a stock standard tool that comes with Office 365, and you can get subscription for it. We can create reports and tiles, as they say, in Power BI and embed it back into MYOB Advanced. So I've created another little dashboard here for you, just called a Power BI inventory dashboard, which is very similar, but now I'm not utilizing the reporting functionality from MYB. I'm actually using Power BI. And you can see here I've got a dashboard that's also live. These things can also refresh at whatever rates you want. And here I've got a quick filter right at the top that shows me my sales and profitability, and also by category. So which products have been selling over a period of time, and the report will refresh as you just change these filters. Right at the bottom there, you can also see we wanted to potentially view which people have been selling it, right? So in that time frame, kind of which sales rep have been doing the most. And we can do maps in here, customer data, all kinds of different things. This is just to show you an idea of things that we can do. I've then also got right at the bottom here some tabs. So top 10 items. So show me what's selling. So in, once again, a specific time frame, I want to maybe see what has been selling and what's been selling the most of. And as you refresh these reports, you'll see that the data would actually change. So I can have a look here at saying in between 2014 and 2017, what was our top selling items? I'm only showing you the top 10 here, and I can now obviously go and view that by, you know, filter this out or just look at a very specific one. And you can also see there that if I wanted to have a look at, you know, how many of that laptop was sold, I could see the information straight away, and I can also see the customers that potentially are buying those products. Likewise, the bottom 10 products, what is not selling, which customers actually probably bought those, right? So whilst they may be not great products, we might need to get in touch with those customers if we can discontinue a range or whatever. You know, these are the kind of things you can have a look. Slow moving stock as well, you know, in a time frame, things that either haven't moved or things that are moving slowly. We can build reports that just, you know, you can actually have a look here by warehouse, how much quantity you still have in it. And if it's slow moving, you want to get rid of it, it's a very quick thing to just have a look at some of that information that's available to us. So any of these reports you can obviously filter through. And lastly, but not the least, I've got stock to expire. So similar to the other view, how many batches is already expired? Here it is. It's that batch for that product. And there's 34 still in Melbourne. And here we've got things that will be expiring within the next 30 days. We've got some olive oil, 2 different batches, actually in 2 different areas as well. 1 in Melbourne, 15 in Melbourne and 4 in Sydney. So easy to see kind of what's going on. So I think hopefully this has given you a bit of an idea of some of the reporting functionality we've got, which is over and above running standard reports. So I've showed you on some screenshots what those reports look like. Those things can obviously be scheduled as PDFs, etc. But we've got a lot of functionality. So we can embed Power BI as an option. We can build you dashboards that are unique to whatever you need to see. These dashboards could be grids, reviews, you know, charts, whatever it is that you want to have a look at, or just something like this with the ability to drill into them. We've got the generic inquiries as well, which is quick on screen filtering to just get information.